Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most hyped phones of the year, the Google Pixel 10 Fold. Now, the Pixel 10 series has just launched here in the UK, but it's the Fold that everyone's been talking about. Foldables have always been a bit hit and miss. Samsung started the hype, Huawei jumped in, and now Google's really trying to prove they've nailed it. But let's be honest, this phone costs nearly £2,000 here in the UK. That's more than a decent second-hand car in Manchester. So the big question is, does the Pixel 10 Fold actually live up to the hype? Or is it just a shiny toy for tech geeks with deep pockets? Stick around because I've been using this as my main phone for the past week in proper everyday UK life, on the tube in London, snapping photos in the rain, classic British weather, watching Netflix at home, and even trying out those AI features that Google keeps banging on about. This review is going to be honest, no nonsense, and human, the way it should be. First things first, the design. And I've got to admit, this thing looks slick. The Pixel 10 Fold is slimmer than the first general Pixel Fold we got a couple of years back. That hinge, which was chunky before, now feels way more refined. It opens and closes smoothly, and it's sturdy enough that I don't feel like I'm going to snap it in half when I'm rushing around. The outer body has a titanium frame and Gorilla Glass Victus 3, which gives it that premium, almost jewelry-like finish. But, and here's the reality, it's still a fingerprint magnet. Within 5 minutes of pulling it out at Pret, it was covered in smudges. Small thing, but worth noting. The phone folds completely flat now, no weird gap in the middle like older foldables. And when it's shut, it honestly feels like holding a slightly chunky normal phone. When it's open, it transforms into this mini tablet, which is brilliant for multitasking, checking emails while browsing the web, or running WhatsApp on one side and YouTube on the other. But let's be real, it's still heavy. At over 280 grams, you'll feel it in your pocket, especially in skinny jeans. And if you're carrying it on a night out in a small clutch bag, good luck. That weight is something you just have to live with if you want a foldable. Now let's talk screens, because if you're buying a foldable, this is what you're really here for. On the outside, you've got a 6.4-inch OLED cover display, bright, smooth at 120 Hz, and perfectly usable on its own. Honestly, for quick tasks like checking texts, Google Maps, or paying for the tube with Google Wallet, you don't even need to unfold it. But when you do open it up, wow, you're greeted with a 7.9-inch inner OLED display, also running at 120 Hz, HDR10+, peak brightness over 2000 nits. It's gorgeous. Watching Netflix or Disney Plus feels like you've got a mini iPad in your hands. And for things like spreadsheets or editing photos, the extra real estate makes a massive difference. Now, does the crease bother me? Honestly, less than I expected. Yes, it's there if you look for it, but after a couple of days, your eyes just ignore it. Samsung's Folds had deeper creases, this one's much subtler. One niggle though, the inner screen is still more reflective than a normal phone display. Out in the bright British sunshine, which let's be fair, isn't often, it can be a bit tricky to see. Cameras. This is where Google usually shines, and the Pixel 10 Fold doesn't disappoint. We've got a 50 megapixels main sensor, a 12 megapixels ultrawide, and a 48 megapixels telephoto with 5x optical zoom. On paper, it's pretty similar to the Pixel 10 Pro, but the software magic makes the difference. In daylight, photos are classic Pixel, sharp, natural colors, amazing dynamic range. Snapping shots around Covent Garden or Hyde Park, I kept thinking, this is still one of the best phone cameras out there. Low light is where it really flexes. Night sight on the Fold is brilliant. Photos of London streets at night look properly detailed without that artificial over-sharpening you sometimes get. The foldable form actually adds a fun twist. You can use the rear cameras for selfies by folding the phone halfway and using the outer screen as a viewfinder. Makes for insanely sharp selfies compared to the inside camera. Video, solid too. 4K 60 FPS with stabilization, looks smooth even when walking about. Not quite iPhone level in video consistency, but very, very close. This thing runs on the Google Tensor G5 chip, paired with 12GB RAM. Now, the Tensor line has always been more about AI brains than raw power, but it's no slouch either. Everyday stuff is buttery smooth, multitasking, gaming, editing, everything's handled with ease. Genshin Impact, PUBG, even some heavy photo edits, no lag. But where Tensor shines is in AI. The Pixel 10 Fold is basically Google showing off its AI chops. Features like Camera Coach helps you frame shots better. Magic Q, live captions and translation, actually handy in real life if you're traveling. Circle to search, just circle anything on screen, and boom, Google pulls info. AI wallpaper and video summarizer, fun extras, but more gimmick than must-have. For us in the UK, the live translation on WhatsApp actually came in handy when chatting with mates abroad, and it's frighteningly good. So, battery life. Inside is a 5000 mAh battery, which sounds big, but remember, it's powering a massive foldable screen. In my testing, I was averaging about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. Enough to get through a full day, but if you're smashing Netflix and gaming, you'll be reaching for the charger by late evening. Charging is 45W wired, not the fastest in the world, takes around 1 hour 10 minutes to fully top up. Wireless charging is here too, but slower. What's nice though, Google's added Qi 2 support, which basically means stronger magnetic charging, think MagSafe but universal. Handy for us when you're charging at work or in the car. Alright, let's talk about real-life use in the UK. On the Tube, the outer display is perfect for one-handed use. Small enough to manage without elbowing the person next to you. At work, that inner screen makes replying to emails or editing Google Docs actually decent on the go. It almost replaces a tablet. At home, the Fold became my go-to for Netflix and YouTube. That big display just hits differently. But here's the catch, the weight and size. Walking around with this in your pocket all day, you do notice it. It's not uncomfortable, but it's definitely bulkier than a normal flagship like the Pixel 10 Pro or Galaxy S25. And durability, I wouldn't trust this in a wet, rainy football match in Manchester. It has IPX8 water resistance, but folding phones are still more fragile than slab phones. Pros: stunning foldable display with minimal crease. Great cameras, some of the best on a foldable. AI features are genuinely useful. Premium design, feels futuristic. Software supports 7 years of updates. Cons: expensive, nearly £2,000 in the UK. Heavy and bulky in the pocket. Battery life is good, but not groundbreaking. Foldable durability still makes me nervous. Charging speed could be faster. So, the big question, should you buy the Google Pixel 10 Fold in the UK? If you want the most futuristic phone experience right now, this is it. The combination of Google's AI features, brilliant cameras, and that big foldable screen makes it feel like a genuine step into the future. But it comes at a cost, literally. At nearly £2,000, this is not for everyone. For most people, the regular Pixel 10 Pro or even Samsung's S25 Edge will give you 90% of the experience for much less. So my honest verdict, the Pixel 10 Fold is an incredible piece of tech, but it's a luxury, not a necessity. If you're a tech enthusiast, or you just want to flex the coolest phone in the pub, go for it. If you just want the best all-rounder, save your cash. That's been my full review of the Pixel 10 Fold here in the UK. Let me know in the comments, would you actually buy a foldable for £2,000? Or are you sticking with normal phones? And that's a wrap on my honest review of the Google Pixel 10 Fold here in the UK. I've got to say, I'm impressed, but I'm also realistic. It's a stunning bit of kit, but whether it's actually worth £2,000 depends on how much you value having the latest futuristic gadget in your pocket. Now I want to hear from you, would you actually spend nearly £2,000 on a foldable like this? Or do you think it's just an overpriced gimmick? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, I genuinely read them all. If you found this review helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more UK-focused tech reviews, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss my upcoming comparison of the Pixel 10 Fold versus the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. That's going to be a juicy one. Thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you lot in the next one. Cheers!